Gary Rotundo and Al Askell of Scaredy Cat are piloting this 24-foot Douglas Marine skater catamaran quite nicely right here. They've been having a very strong campaign, and they certainly hope to improve with today's performance. Showdown coming right up on Scaredy Cat. Getting the boat up. Oh, and Rotundo and Askell going right over. The drivers seem all right. There's Rotundo and Askell floating in the water. They appear to be all right at this point in time. As you can see, the boat is completely flipped over and is on its right side up, floating harmlessly right now. They seem fine from our vantage point. Swimming around, helmet still on, life vest there. On their back floating, looked very fine. Very fortunate for Rotundo and Askell of the Scaredy Cat race team. The Coast Guard emergency rescue boat coming up and getting them out of the water. Very quick response with the safety boats. Speaking of a boat out of the competition, look at the heat is on race team. This is a tough break for Provenzano and the rest of his crew. Look at the destruction that has been wreaked upon this boat. We did not see what happened, but apparently from the look of it, looks like there was some sort of barrel roll involved, and there you see the crew. They seem to be okay. The Offshore Powerboat Racing Association medical staff is there, and they seem to have done a great job in getting this crew on the heat is on to safety. And we're going to come up on Bob Kaiser's boat. This 38-foot Black Cougar, sponsored by Chevrolet. It's powered by two 750 horsepower Mercury Detroit engine. With Mercury drives. This boat is owned by Bob Kaiser, also does the driving, and Errol Lanier does the throttling, all hailing from the Detroit, Michigan area. Chevrolet Marine Power US 1 looking very dominating. And on the outside of him, you've got Dirty Laundry and Chariots of Fire. Now we come up on 99, the Gentry Eagle. This 46-foot white Scarab is powered by three 850 horsepower Gentry inboards with Kiefer outdrives. This boat is owned by Tom Gentry. Today driving is Don Johnson from Miami Beach. You've got Gus Anastasi as your navigator and Bill Sirois as your throttle man. Don Johnson really coming out here has lent some glamour to offshore powerboat racing here today in Atlantic City. And right in front of him you see the Gentry boat. So you can imagine how fast both these boats are going. Gentry being able to hold off Chevrolet Power right here, but Kaiser charging hard, trying to overtake Gentry. Speed at its best right now. This boat is going full tilt, all out, approaching 100 miles per hour. And here you see him making his move on Gentry. Chevrolet is smoking right here. They're closing the gap. They are overtaking right now. And Gentry, who is also going exceptionally fast right now, is rescinding back. They're falling back, and they cannot hold off the challenge of Bob Kaiser's US 1 Chevrolet Power. What a great pass that is. Now we come up on D96, this all-yellow 41-foot Apache known as Star Chaser. This boat is powered by twin 800 horsepower Ritchie Zool racing inboard motors with Mercury No. 4 drives. This boat is owned and driven by Butch Montevecchi from Staten Island, New York. His navigator is James Montevecchi, and Mike Florio is the throttle man. This crew has been together for several years, and they are stars. And the Star Chaser race team are true champions, and they're presently running in first place. They've had some excellent wins from 1987 as well as into 88, and today's race is no exception. They're tearing up the course. Presently they're running in first place in class, and no one is going to be able to catch this Star Chaser boat if they maintain a performance as they have right now. Hot is looking very good right now in class. They're in a strong chase with Star Chaser and BAM. However, Star Chaser, you saw earlier on, has a very good lead, but it's too close to call right now between BAM and Hot in the D-class competition. They've had some good running. On the outside, that's Al Copeland's Popeye's Diet Coke. That is certainly a space-age looking race boat right there, and he's done everything that can be done in this field of offshore powerboat racing. Copeland is a living legend right now in the sport, but the story right now is Hot. He's done very well. This boat is sponsored by Kilroy's Bar Restaurant and Triplex Marine, as well as Midwest Performance Boats. Now we're coming up on a brand new boat, number 60, Eric's Reality. This boat is a brand new 48-foot all-white Cougar powered by 4 850 Gentry inboard motors with K5 Keycafer outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Charles E. Marks from Potomac, Maryland, and your navigator and throttle man is Bobby Moore. This boat is really special. This is a brand new super boat known as Eric's Reality, and today it's his debut race. We've got the green flag and we've got racing. Spirit Special on the inside takes an early lead over Runaway, but here comes D25. Assault drops back slightly. G. Willikers hanging tough on the outside. Good clean start. Runaway, that all-red boat on the outside, looking very strong. D25 really making a move. That Apache is a tough racing boat, and he's certainly making up some ground right now. Spirit Special with a quick lead is starting to extend it slightly. And we'll wait and have to see how this race unfolds. Just what will the strategy be here? These racers know how rough it is right now, and they don't want to go out and break anything. There you see the ground that D25 is making up as he's taking a slight lead over Runaway. And looking back on the pack, that's G. Willikers, relatively still in the same place on the outside, and on the inside was the Assault race team. Special. This is a 38-foot cigarette powered by twin 730 horsepower Mercury inboards with Mercruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and throttled by the great Mandy Fernandez from Miami, Florida. He's got John Tomlinson from North Miami, Florida as his driver, and Tony Fernandez, the navigator, also hailing from Miami. They've taken a first place in Sundays, and they've taken a third place at St. Petersburg. So Spirit Special is obviously in the hunt for the overall championship here. It is going to be between Spirit Special